And during the Second World War, we know the Germans made big heavy tanks like the Tiger and the King Tiger. When they were allowed to make a tank again, they first started designing this in the 1950s. They actually went in a completely different direction. They said, no, we don't want a big heavy tank. We want a fast tank with a good gun on it. And this is what they came up with, the Leopard. You can hear it's got a rumbling, great thumping MTU diesel engine in the back there, tremendously powerful, relatively thin armour. The armour on the early Leopards would stop a bullet, but not much else. But they had a great gun. They bought the gun off the British. This is something called the L7 105mm gun. If you like your tanks, this was a tank we put on our Centurion tanks. Really effective, very accurate, and we also sold it to the Germans and the Americans, and they put it on their tanks as well. And you can see they've made a very mobile, very fast tank that can speed around the battlefield, and it uses that speed as defence, not stopping too often and letting the Russian tanks take a pot shot at it. That was the idea behind it. Now this particular version of the Leopard was actually sold to the Canadian Army, and you can see on the side there's a maple leaf on the turret. Now the Canadians, at the end of the 1990s, like many armies, they said, no, we don't want tanks anymore, they're old hat. So they said they were going to get rid of their Leopard tanks. So we put our hand up here at Bovington and said, could we have a couple? And they very kindly gave us a couple of Leopard tanks. This is one of them, which was wonderful. Then the Canadian Army went off to fight in Afghanistan and realised they dropped a really big clanger because they did need tanks. So they bought another load of Leopard tanks from the Germans. And that's the story we love telling here, because so often the tank has been written off in its history that we don't need them anymore, and yet for various reasons we do. So for good or ill, I hate to say it, we're going to see tanks on your news, in the army, in service all around.